All right, y'all. What's going on? Welcome to the stream. Today we're actually going to be doing our um, first kind of real online race with AMS2. I think. For some reason I'm not in the right view. So if you're wondering, I'm using VR right now, but I'm not in the right view at all. Not sure why. All right, so I'm back. So what? Thought I was back. Not. All right, so first online race, I think, with AMS2. And all right, we got people just leaving the session. This is never a good time, honestly. When you have people like leaving the session, like they're just leaving the session. Like there was a few of us in the race earlier. It's not really a race right now. It's kind of like I get it. I can see why this sim is just not taking off. I would love for it to take off and be a lot better, but it's just not right now. It's kind of disappointing because like I'm in VR right now, and this sim looks great. This game looks awesome. It feels awesome. Like the force feedback in AMS2 is great. I love the force feedback in AMS2. I started driving again ACC after then I kind of wait for it for like a weekend or so, and it's hard to describe the differences between the two. Like basically, like ACC has the force feedback, but it just doesn't have that same like real connection to the road that I get with AMS2. Like yeah, ACC has a tire model that they did, with the revamp of the tire model, with 1.8 update, but with the new version 1.4 update for AMS2, the road connection is to the tires and tire on is comparable to that of ACC, I think, in my mind. And this is my opinion. This is all subject to my opinion. This is all just this is me, like, talking about what I think and what I feel. And so what I feel right now is like the force feedback on AMS2 is better than ACC. The graphics, I have to say, it's hard to say. Right now, you're looking at it right now, I'm in VR, and the graphics in VR are awesome. The game works great in VR. It just does. It just flows. And right now, I'm currently using a Oculus Quest 2 or a Meta Quest 2, however you want to call it, VR headset. I'm running at 90 hertz right now. This is right now. I actually switched over to 80 hertz, just so I can kind of keep everything, stable. It was actually running really well at 90 hertz. I even went up to 120 hertz with the headset being plugged directly in to my machine with the USB-C cable, and the graphics and the stability of it was still there. But you know, if I tried the same settings, or close to the same settings on my VR headset right now with ACC, the when you're looking through the lens, I don't think you're gonna see it on the actual stream, but if you're looking through the actual lens, the physical lens itself, had the physical headset on yourself, it would almost look like there's Vaseline on the optics that you're using in the headset. Like you're looking through like a lens of like Vaseline, which it's not something you want, right? And so I found myself wanting to use VR really badly on ACC, but having to go back to triples because it's just not there for VR, right? The game, the game is such a resource hog because it's doing so much that they dropped the ball. I think honestly, I think Kunos dropped the ball on VR, and I just don't know why any of these companies are dropping the ball on VR when it's such a great thing to utilize in these sims. I'm currently using a Magic M10 wheelbase, nothing fancy, but the force feedback is great. You match that with a VR headset. You've got a direct drive wheel matched with a VR headset and a good set of pedals. You've got a great amount of immersion right now going on, and so that's what I'm seeing with this, and I just don't understand how. I mean, I do. It's not that I don't understand how it's not catching on. When I say I don't understand, it's because I'm like, there's so much good about this game. There's just so much. Like this, you've got Nordschleife. You get the full Nordschleife, right? To drive. If you want to do like multi-class, you got multi-class, right? ACC, great. It's your your stock mode GT3, GT4, and other GTS cars and SRO stuff. It's great for that. Awesome. Hands down, bar none. But you don't. Some of us want to have that multi-class, right? Like a lot of people want to drive GT3 and all that. We want to drive GT3, GT4, GTE, and have some really good cars to drive. This offers that, but it also lacks that too, because while I'm getting GT3 cars and GT4 and GTE, I'm getting a limited amount of cars. I'm only getting in the GT3 class right now, I've got McLaren, Porsche, Mercedes, and BMW, right? That's great, but there are other cars. There's the Ferrari, there's the Audi, there's the there's the Honda. I love my Honda when it comes to ACC. Don't get me started on that. There's the the Lambo, right? There's the Aston Martin. There's the Bentley. We don't have those. Other sims have those, right? Why is this one right here? This is the newest out of all the titles. Out of all the titles right now, this is the most recent title, right? The most recent next gen sim type deal, and it's just lacking in those areas. And I don't understand why. Like, what was it? There's such a budget, constraint that they could not get the licensing for those cars. Like, what is going on, right? I don't know. I don't understand. And so they're shooting themselves in the foot as far as their user base by not having these things. And if they had a great looking sim, great looking, tracks are awesome as far as being modeled and all that, and the feedback that you get when you're driving over the tracks. The bumps and all that, you get all of that stuff that you really want, stuff that we really are asking for as a community. You get with that, but then it just lacks and drops the ball in so many like the key pinpoint areas that it's frustrating, right? Like right now, like there's no one on the track. I mean, that's also granted. I started from the pits and whatever, but like still, there's no one on the track right now. Like, but it's like I'm online, right? I'm online. And so I'm doing multiplayer. There's no ranked multiplayer here. There's none of that. Like, we want those things. Why is that? Like, did you not take a cue from like Kunos or iRacing or any of those other sims out there to say, hey, what are they doing good? What are they doing bad? Right? And so I don't know. So, there's just so much that's lacking right now. and there's so much that's doing well. Look at the lighting. The lighting is freaking spectacular. Honestly, like it is great. And like, you know, I just don't get it. You know, like, come on now, people. Like, look at that sun. I mean, if you're seeing it through my headset, that is great. Like, I'm literally seeing dots right now and somewhat blinded right now by the sun that just came through my VR headset. That is immersion at its finest. Now, give me, like, you know, freaking a butt kicker on my seat, you know, and on my pedals on it, and this will be even better. Give me motion, you know, simulation, like, you know, full-on motion on the rig that I'm in right now, and it would be obnoxiously immersive. You know, I mean, look at that view. Blinding is all hell. like I'm actually blind. Like, I'm actually seeing the dots right now. I can't see right now. My eyes are still adjusting. It was like being hit in the eyes with the sun, and it still is right now. I have to have my right eye is actually closed right now, so I can get through that just now. You can't make this up right here. This is great, right? This is absolutely phenomenal. But there's areas that is lacking. Like, you know, it has F1. It's got the, you know, F1 US, like with the Racing USA pack that came out. You know, packs that come out. You get the old school F1 cars, right? Like, those are freaking awesome. Like, I love them, right? Like, more people should race them and drive them. You have a shit ton of fun. Look, there's a car right here, actually. I'm still having trouble seeing right now because of all the sun. You know, even when it comes to setting, you know, doing setups on the car, on the spot. I just spun. Setups are, you know, it gives you like detailed information as far as what you get with the set, you know, what you're doing as far as setting up vehicles. It tells you like what each thing does. Where in that sense, ACC definitely lacks. It lacks the ability to educate the newcoming drivers to these, you know, race fans who may be race fans and all that, love the cars, but don't know what things certain things do. And so, I think when it comes to setups, you got guys out there, you know, people out there going and buying setups from, you know, other individuals, you know, who know what they're talking about, or, you know, people know what they're talking about. You know, you got esports, you know, legends and all that, right? Like, all that stuff, right? But like, you know, in this, like, this is more. This is, you know, if you go to the setup, it'll show you, like, you know, kind of what each thing does and like the pros and cons of certain settings that you might want to, you know, use and adjustments that you might want to make, right? That's what you're getting. Anyways, like, you know, another thing that they introduced in version 1.4 is mechanical damage. I love that. Like, I've had a few races that I've raced with the AI, and AI is also just out of the race because, like, next thing you know, you see the car smoking because the AI pushed the car too hard, and so they start smoking. I've had times where I've had a little bit of damage, like where, like, you know, on the vehicle, and I was pushing a little too hard with that damage, and I blew the engine, you know, or I was like, or, you know, or if I don't take if I make a adjustment, like, say, like the radiator opening right in the front, or the you know, the clutch, you know, the luminous slip and all that, or, you know, something along those lines. If I don't set those up properly, I've had times where, like, the oil tank has gone skyrocketing through the roof, and I blew the engine. Like, or, you know, I had to, like, basically slow down and adjust how I was driving in order to not blow my engine. You know, I did a race the other night that I recorded. I'm gonna post actually on my YouTube channel, where I was driving on at Spa, and it started out raining. I did a pretty, you know, aggressive time lapse, basically time lapse play, and it started out wet and raining, ended up drying for the rest of the race. It was a 20-minute race, nothing crazy, and by the end of the race, it started, like, the last minute and a half of the race, minute 45 actually, to be exact. It started to drizzle again, and everyone had gone from wets to slicks, and I have done the same. Like, the AI, like the list that the AI did, and I wasn't doing bad. I think I was something like 5th in class, and oh shit, ooh, I was holding the brakes like this now, right there. That was me holding the brakes, and I slid that much. So the physics on the sim are great as well, but yeah, another car. Look at that. And so like, anyways, I ended up like basically sliding all over the freaking track in Spa, and at that point it was dark outside too, so it was hard to see where the wet, where the track was like, cooling up and all that. And so next thing you know, I go off into the dirt, and I spent the last basically like minute of the race trying to get out of the dirt because it wouldn't allow me to get out of the dirt. I just cut the track bad. I don't think that they had damage turned on. So I've basically, or it's light damage, because like I don't know if I hit it hard enough, but like usually when I have damage when racing against the AI, if I hit those walls the way I did just now, I would have basically no tire, or like, like wheel would be like off, rolling around somewhere, or my steering wheel itself would be like canted to like, fully, 45 degrees to the right or whatever. But anyways, so it was so realistic to the point where like I just couldn't get out of the dirt. I was having to hit the throttle like extra light to try and get the wheels to like not spin. And it was one of the best experiences. While it sucked, it was cool just to see that level of immersion that they thought of, right? And so I'm like, this is great if they could get more people to come and drive the sim. We got cool 8 cars here. But I mean, these are just things I've noticed. And there's just, with version 1.4, they didn't release. I think they didn't release the last part of the Racing USA track pack, but they gave us a couple of things. They gave us, once they gave us the 2022 Spa, that was part of it. They gave us Gateway, which is in Missouri. They gave us that. They gave us the updated, F1 USA cars with, and with the mechanical damage. Also, they've actually revamped it. They did revamp the course feedback a little bit. So you actually have you have 2 presets: default, plus, and then customize. Customize is basically opposite what it is. It sounds like default plus has a few settings in there as far as dampening and those things go. But if you pin them, if you have a wheelbase, there's actually, you can actually set it up, pretty accurately. They do have a on their page a link on their forums to like a actual link that another page that lets you see. Let's say you have like a Fanatec, CSLGD or whatever, right? It tells you like what the settings should be for that as far as dampening goes and all that stuff. So it's pretty cool. But force feedback is really great. Graphics great. Even if I was racing on my triples right now, this would be a great scene to drive on. But in VR, it's phenomenal. I mean, there are a lot of people out there who have Oculus, or MetaQuest, Metas or other headsets that don't typically use them because they're like, oh, I can't get my stuff set up properly to work really well to have great visuals.